You're sitting in your living room on a quiet spring morning. The neighborhood is still. And then you hear it. A rhythmic, sharp, frantic tapping against the glass. You look out the window, or perhaps toward the side mirror of your parked car in the driveway. It is a northern cardinal. He is launching himself at the glass. Beak first, wings flared, claws extended. He strikes, falls back, recalculates, and strikes again. Over and over and over. If you have lived in a suburban yard with cardinals, you have likely watched this dozens of times. It becomes a mild annoyance, a background event. You have assumed, the way almost everyone assumes, that the bird is confused. You think he sees the reflection of a tree and is trying to fly through it. Or perhaps he is trying to get inside your house for warmth. You assume he will eventually figure it out and fly away. That assumption is wrong. Not partially wrong, completely wrong. In a way that changes everything you think you understand about avian behavior, territory, and what is actually happening right outside your window. The bird is not confused about the glass. He is executing a highly coordinated, physically exhausting, and incredibly dangerous assault. Welcome to Zoomix. As always, we do not stage and we do not interfere. We are silent observers. Subscribe before you leave, because today we are breaking down one of the most violent and misunderstood behaviors in the natural world. What you have been watching is not a bird making a mistake. It is a bird fighting a phantom war of attrition. Number 1, the biological switch. To understand what is happening at your window, you have to understand what the transition from winter to spring does to a male songbird. During the winter months, the cardinal's priority is pure survival. The math is simple. Stay warm. Find seeds. Do not freeze. In this state, cardinals are highly tolerant. You will see dozens of them, males and females, sharing the same feeder, roosting in the same thickets, forming loose winter flocks. There is no aggression, because aggression wastes precious calories. But as the days grow longer, the sunlight triggers a biological switch. Research published in the Journal of Avian Biology documents that increasing daylight causes the bird's endocrine system to flood his body with testosterone. The tolerant winter flock member is gone. He is replaced by a solitary hyper-aggressive defender. He claims a territory, your backyard, and his singular mission is to ensure no other male crosses the property line. His bright red plumage, which makes him highly visible to hawks, is a deliberate warning signal. It is a zero-sum game. If another male takes his territory, he loses his mate, his nest, and his genetic future. He is patrolling the boundaries of his kingdom with absolute, lethal intent. And then he encounters your window. Number 2, the evolutionary blind spot. When the cardinal looks into the glass, he does not see himself. The concept of self-reflection does not exist in his cognitive programming. The ancestors of the northern cardinal evolved over millions of years in dense forests, thorny thickets, and open woodlands. In the natural world, a perfectly flat, highly reflective vertical surface does not exist. The calmest pond ripples with the wind. The brain of a bird is incredibly sophisticated. They can navigate across continents using the Earth's magnetic field and the stars. But their visual cortex was simply never wired to comprehend architectural glass. When he looks into your window, his brain processes the visual data as absolute, undeniable reality. He sees an intruder, a vibrant, red, fully mature male staring right back at him, deep inside his territory. Number 3. The escalation of combat. Here's the part of the behavior that reveals the true tragedy of the situation. The bird initiates standard territorial defense. He puffs his chest to look larger. He raises his crest. He flicks his wings. But the enemy in the glass does the exact same thing at the exact same moment. In a normal territorial dispute between two real birds, one eventually backs down. The smaller or weaker bird registers the threat and flies away. The conflict ends without physical contact, but the enemy in the glass never retreats. It matches the cardinal's aggression perfectly. This triggers a devastating behavioral feedback loop. Because the rival refuses to submit, the real cardinal escalates to physical violence. He launches himself at the glass. He strikes the rival, but the rival strikes back with the exact same force. It is the perfect, unbeatable enemy. Number 4. The vulnerability window. This is where the behavior transitions from a curiosity to a severe survival threat. While the male is spending hours fighting the glass, the rest of his life is falling apart. The energy budget of a small songbird is incredibly tight. The hours he spends at the window are hours he is not foraging for seeds. They are hours he is not feeding the female. A stationary, distracted bird at a window is also highly vulnerable to predators. He is creating noise. He is exposing himself in the open. A Cooper's hawk or a neighborhood cat can easily ambush a bird that is entirely focused on a reflection. Furthermore, the nest is left unguarded. Without the male actively patrolling the real perimeter, parasitic birds like the brown-headed cowbird have a clear opportunity to slip into the brush, remove a cardinal egg, and lay their own. The physical toll is absolute. If you inspect a window where a cardinal has been fighting for days, you will often find small smears of blood on the sill. The bird strikes the glass with such velocity that he microfractures his own beak. He depletes his fat reserves. He drives his body to the absolute limit of exhaustion. He is literally killing himself to fight a ghost. And because his testosterone levels will remain high throughout the breeding season, this daily war can last for weeks, sometimes months, until late summer. Number 5. Breaking the curse. In the wild, natural selection would quickly eliminate any animal that wastes its energy fighting shadows. But glass is our invention. We dropped an optical illusion into their ancient habitat. We created the ghost. At Zoomix, we do not interfere with natural predator-prey cycles. But this is not nature. This is architecture. According to guidelines from the Audubon Society, there is only one way to stop the war. You have to kill the reflection. Taping a grid of paper to the outside of the glass, rubbing a bar of soap across the window, tying a plastic bag over the car mirror, you must alter the exterior surface so the bird can no longer see a continuous mirrored image. The moment the reflection is broken, the war ends immediately. The cardinal does not mourn the vanished enemy. The biological trigger is deactivated. He simply turns his back, drops his wings, and returns to the wild. He goes back to the thicket. He goes back to finding food. He goes back to the nest. The next time you see a bird throwing its body against a pane of glass, you will know exactly what you are watching. It is not a stupid animal performing a meaningless trick. It is a creature operating under a massive hormonal imperative. executing millions of years of evolutionary programming to protect its family. It is displaying an extraordinary level of courage and endurance against an opponent that never tires. Nature is a harsh, unyielding place. But when we understand the mechanics behind the behavior, the yard changes. The background noise becomes a story of survival. Tell me in the comments, have you ever had to cover a window to stop a bird from fighting it? What species was it? I read every single one. I'll see you in the next observation.